Finally, West Virginia is moving in the right direction. As your West Virginia Senate President, Craig Blair has passed the most conservative legislative agenda in the nation. He has fought for our values like banning elective abortions, protecting our Second Amendment rights, and prevented boys from playing in girls' sports. Senator Craig Blair championed the largest tax cut in the history of our state. Craig Blair, a strong conservative leader. Promises made, promises kept. This election, vote for Republican Craig Blair for State Senate. Paid for by the Committee to Re-elect Craig Blair.
It's time for the excitement of NCAA Division II basketball featuring the Shepherd University Rams and the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Today's game is sponsored by
Parsons Ford of Martinsburg, Rocks, the Dutch Miller Auto Group, the Mirius Group of Financial Advisors, the Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers, Brown's Funeral Homes and Cremations, CMA Honda, Craig Blair for State Senate, Orsini's Home Store, the Mansion Ferretti Law Firm, the Berkeley County Health Department, Hagerstown Ford, Smallwood and Small Insurance, Modern Realty Results, Ollie's, the Palace Lounge, Bechtel Jewelers, Cody's Auto Body, WVU Medicine, Gary Kelly Allstate Insurance, and the Mountaineer Grill and Pub.
Now let's send it out to the Butcher Athletic Center on the campus of Shepherd University and join our TV10 broadcast crew for the game.
Welcome into the Shepherd University Butchers Center here in Shepherdstown, West Virginia on TV10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. Getting ready to bring you our first Shepherd University basketball broadcast of the year. The doubleheader here in PSAC opening action for the Rams against the Seton Hill Griffins. Dylan Bishop and Nick Verzolini for TV10, WRNR TV on YouTube. Getting ready to bring you the women's action in just under 15 minutes. Josh Reston is our cameraman this evening, and Colin McLaughlin is back in the studio. Nick, year 2 for Coach Julie Kaufman, and so far a little bit of a slow start, but they have gotten their first win, the Lady Rams have, much sooner than they did last year. It took them until February to get their first win of the season in the first campaign under Coach Kaufman, but they got a win in their last matchup that they had, a road game against Wilmington in Delaware. So hopefully on an upward trajectory is the Lady Rams.
Yeah, I mean, to get a win at this point in the season is definitely a good sign for this Shepherd team. I can remember last season, looking at some of the stats across the country and just looking at how Shepherd ranked, and them and Wilmington were very similar in terms of where they were in a lot of the stats, like turnovers, points per game, stuff that you were looking at. And I thought it was a good job by Shepherd to schedule a team like Wilmington for your non-conference, knowing that you can build that confidence early in the season against a team that you can compete with. I think that is a good sign for the Rams. Now, their first 2 games of the year looked a lot like last year, right? Not very competitive games. 91-58 loss to Virginia State, a 93-55 loss to West Virginia Wesleyan. But then they played very close against a team that took care of business, I believe, won by 17 last year in Bowie State. It was a 65-61 win, or loss, this year for the Rams. So much closer in that game. A good win over a Wilmington, Delaware program that has struggled. A win's a win, though, for this Shepherd team at this point. And Coach Kaufman, she has a huge challenge. We've talked about it a lot last year. Took over in a situation that wasn't ideal, kind of late in the offseason, having to make a coaching change as Coach Eckleberry left Shepherd due to whatever reason that was. And now the Rams are trying to rebuild it, right? I mean, this was one of the premier programs in the PSAC a few years ago. It's a very tough conference. We'll see if this is a step in the right direction, but this Seton Hill team has some firepower on its side and can certainly, be a tough matchup for the Rams today.
Right, Seton Hill has an over 22 point per game scorer in Christian Fry that they'll have to deal with tonight. Leading scorer for the Rams, Layla Copeland, junior transfer, came in, comes off the bench, and actually starting a freshman, Kara Werner, at point guard so far this year. And, having seen here, I came here in person on the Tuesday over Thanksgiving break and saw that this team in action against Bowie State, and it seemed like it was a little more cohesive in terms of the players on the team. The starting point guard seemed like they were playing the role the point guard should. We saw last year Peyton Grant was the starting point guard, but she was definitely more of a shooter, more of a two guard than an actual point guard. And they have their bigs come off the bench and start. Kara Miner starts at the 5. They have Carmea Bowman comes off the bench, leading the team with 7 rebounds a game. So hopefully they've started to get on track in that sense.
I think a lot of that has to do with Coach Kaufman trying to build her culture, right? She's trying to establish, and she talked about this yesterday on the Sports Mix in our interview with her. She's trying to establish a routine for this team where the team comes out, they know what they're doing. They felt like last year there was a lot of changing defenses, changing a lot of different things from game to game, and they're trying to have their identity be something consistent. And if you can build some sort of consistency in terms of what they're trying to do, then hopefully it leads to consistency in the results, and what you hope is the ultimate result, the wins. Again, it's going to be tough today. I don't think this is, a pushover team. Seton Hill is very good despite their record. They have players that can light up the scoreboard. But Shepherd's trying to be a defensive-minded team. We'll see if they can bring the intensity on the defensive side and grind one out today. It's going to have to be, a 50 to 60-point game in terms of the scoring for each team, I think, for the Rams to have a shot today.
Our countdown to tip-off here is brought to you by Parsons Ford at 1400 Shepherdstown Road and online at parsonsford.com. They became number one by making you number one first. Parsons. We'll go ahead and we'll take our first break on the Parsons Ford countdown to tip-off for 2 minutes. Then we'll come back and continue to break this down, get you ready for Seton Hill versus Shepherd in PSAC basketball. This is Shepherd basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons number one for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became number one by making you number one first. Parsons.
We're the Skinner Brothers. Most folks only need a lawyer once or twice in their lives. And when they're injured or in an accident, most people don't know what to do. We get it. It can be overwhelming.
Nobody likes to be told, you need a lawyer. But that's why we're here. We want to get you back to your normal life and help you recover.
So if you or a loved one has been in an accident, give us a call. Let us figure out how we can get you compensation.
Reach us at SkinnerWins.com or Google Skinner Lawyers. We'll treat you like family.
The Honda Ridgeline, Passport, and Pilot are in a league of their own when it comes to rugged capability. Their relentless power and versatility make these vehicles the ultimate challengers for exhilarating adventures and formidable terrain. But it's not just performance that makes these cars special. It's the unwavering determination that inspires everything we do. That's why we're KBB.com's best value brand of 2023.
CMA's Honda of Winchester, 3985 Valley Pike. CMA's moving lives forward.
Available all-wheel drive on Pilot based on 2023 brand image awards from Kelly Blue Book. Visit KBB.com for more information.
Ollie's VIP North Side is the best spot to catch all your favorite teams. Join us Monday for Dollar Wings and Monday Night Football. Thursdays on the patio for the Cornhole Tourney. Friday night lights with happy hour specials, or Saturdays during or after the college games for steak night. Get a ribeye or New York steak for just $26.95. Ollie's has great food and drink menus too, along with 17 TVs to watch any game of your choice from anywhere at the bar or their outdoor patio and fire pit. So stop by and see for yourself today at 36 Veronica Drive in Martinsburg. That's Ollie's VIP North Side. We'll see you for the game.
Welcome back to the Parsons Ford countdown to tip-off. Here we're about 6.5 minutes away from Shepherd women's basketball against the Seton Hill Griffins. Dylan Bishop, Nick Ferzolini here with you. And Nick, this is a Seton Hill team that so far this year 2-3 on the season. Mentioned earlier that they have a 22 point-per-game scorer in Christian Fry, who the Shepherd will have to focus in on tonight. But they've, a solid squad outside of that as well. And Seton Hill's always given the Rams a little bit of trouble in PSAC play, even when you had the era under Coach Eccleberry. So this is a tough team that they will have to deal with. Hallie Cowan scored 23 points in their last game, an 88-86 loss at Virginia State, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just Fry, right? You got the two Cowans both averaging in double figures for this team, and then Mankins averaging just under double figures at 9.4 points per game. So they can light it up, and they can score with the best of them. Can they bring it on the defensive end here? You think, looking at the matchup, you should be able to slow down a Shepherd offense that only averages 57 points per game, but this is certainly a team that has had some high-scoring games, has certainly found the ability to consistently put the ball in the basket. So they're 2-3. They got a win over Concord to begin the year, 90-75. Tough loss there to Fairmont State in Game 2, 92-84. Lost to Salem, 84-75. So the good thing is they're 1-2 against the state of West Virginia so far. So Shepherd definitely trying to continue that. Win over Malone, 71-60. And a loss to Virginia State, 88-86. So a lot of high-scoring games, Dylan, and that doesn't play well for Shepherd. The Rams have played in low-scoring games when they've been competitive. When it's gotten above 60, 70 points, they haven't really kept pace. So I think that's going to be very important today, as I mentioned earlier. But you see the disparity in the offenses. I mean, this is a team that likes to get up and down the floor, likes to put up a lot of shots in Seton Hill. Shepherd has been more of a lower-scoring team. But some of their numbers, for the Rams aren't obviously as discouraging as last season. I think the main thing I'm looking at is the turnover spot. You only have a 2 difference in the turnover margin right now between Shepherd and their opponents. So, last year that was a constant issue for the Rams. So I think we've seen a little bit of progress, but today it's going to be tough for Shepherd against this high-powered Seton Hill offense, and they're a 2-3 team, but they could easily even be undefeated. I mean, they've been in every game and been playing at a high level.
Right, like you mentioned, it's going to be mostly scoring that has been and could continue to be the issue for Shepherd. They only have one player averaging double digits so far through 4 games. That's Layla Copeland, who, other than one start in the place of Jordan Carr, has come off the bench and played about 25 minutes a game, which is what you'll see that for basically the top 6 or so in the rotation for the Rams, playing around 25 minutes. Layla Copeland's at 11.5 points per game. Sydney Bowles just under 10 points per game so far this year, struggling shooting the ball, under 33% from the field so far this year. Peyton Grant at almost 8 points per game, shooting the ball well from three-point range, 9 of 22 from 3, just over 40% from three-point range so far this year. But that's the only make she's had from the field. She's actually 0 of 10 from the field from 2-point range so far this year, giving her an overall percentage of 28.1 from the field. And outside of that, then you start to get to 7.3, 6.8, and down into the 4s in terms of scoring. So it's going to be tough, and that might be one of your keys to the game here, Nick, as our keys to the game are brought to you by the Dutch Miller Auto Group. The key to your next car is at the Dutch Miller Automotive Group, the home of friends and family pricing.
Yeah, I've already kind of touched on, I think, my main key today. You got to slow down this Seton Hill offense. Try to keep the scoring, in range where you can compete. Number 2 is going to be bring the energy. This is a empty gym pretty much right now. I mean, there's a few people in attendance, but it's a weird time for a college basketball tip-off, so there's not a whole lot of people in attendance, but you got to bring your own energy and come out, trying to be the aggressor. Seton Hill's the road team, so they should be tired coming off the bus, right? They probably have little energy with nobody really in attendance, and the fact that they're playing Shepherd, they think this is a pushover game. So, hey, that whatever you can do to bring your own energy, get your team going. I think that starts on the defensive end for the Rams. Rebound the basketball. That could also be something where the Rams are a little bit undersized, so they got to try to cut down on their rebound margin. It's been a struggle so far on the year for Shepherd, getting out-rebounded in these games by 12 rebounds a game. You got to try to cut that down. I think they have a chance today.
Yeah, I think I'm glad that you mentioned the attendance in here. It is pretty sparse so far. It is, like you said, a weird time for a game. It's a Friday, early you could call it late afternoon, early evening, a 3 o'clock tip-off, which you don't see too much of, and we won't see much of for this entire season. Also a weird time. Shepherd's a commuter school anyway, so you don't get a lot of as many students on campus in general on a Friday.
Some classes are going on right now, right? Or maybe not on Friday.
Or in general, I believe, if I remember from my time here at Shepherd, that this is the last week of classes with final exams next week. There might not be as many classes today.
So you might not came to school.
Exactly. There's kids that might just be gone for the week, might not have any final exams, might have gone home for winter break altogether. But we'll go ahead. We'll take one more 2-minute break here, and when we come back, we should be ready for tip-off. We'll take a 3-minute break. Actually, back at the studio, Colin. We'll be back with Shepherd basketball here on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
At Dutch Miller Automotive, we've grown quite a bit over the last 60 years, but our core principles remain the same. We believe in treating our customers and our team members like friends and family, and we see it as our obligation to give back to all the communities we are so fortunate to do business in. In just West Virginia alone, we've grown from one location on the west end of Huntington to 10 rooftops employing more than 500 Mountaineers. Check out the inventory from all of our stores at DutchMillerAuto.com. Dutch Miller Automotive Group, West Virginia proud.
In Martinsburg is the place to be. Join us every night to relax and enjoy football or basketball games featuring either the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Shepherd University Rams, or West Virginia Mountaineers. We will have steak night every Wednesday, trip nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. You can find us on Facebook or call 304-267-7520. The Palace Lounge is located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer!
The Mountaineer Pub offers many daily specials including Trivia Night Mondays, Karaoke Tuesdays, Steak Night Wednesdays and Sundays, Boneless Swing Night Thursdays, and DJ and or karaoke, again Fridays and Saturdays. And remember, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays through Fridays is happy hour with $2 domestic bottles and $2.50 domestic drafts.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Pub!
Nothing goes better with football than chicken. From Pee-wee to the big boys to the wing T formation. A hearty meal of 12 pieces for $12 is just what the boys need to be at their best. Oh my, fumbling, bumbling, stumbling.
Omaha!
Rock's 12 pieces of chicken, just $12.
Ollie's VIP North Side is the best spot to catch all your favorite teams. Join us Monday for dollar wings and Monday Night Football, Thursdays on the patio for the cornhole tourney, Friday night lights with happy hour specials, or Saturdays during or after the college games for steak night. Get a ribeye or New York steak for just $26.95. Ollie's has great food and drink menus too, along with 17 TVs to watch any game of your choice from anywhere at the bar or their outdoor patio and fire pit. So stop by and see for yourself today at 36 Veronica Drive in Martinsburg. That's Ollie's VIP North Side. We'll see you for the game.
Finally, West Virginia is moving in the right direction. As your West Virginia Senate President, Craig Blair has passed the most conservative legislative agenda in the nation. He has fought for our values like banning elective abortions, protecting our Second Amendment rights, and prevented boys from playing in girls' sports. Senator Craig Blair championed the largest tax cut in the history of our state. Craig Blair, a strong conservative leader. Promises made, promises kept. This election, vote for Republican Craig Blair for State Senate. Paid for by the committee to re-elect Craig Blair.
Welcome back to the Butcher Center here on the campus of Shepherd University, getting you ready for Shepherd women's basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. Let's get you the starting lineups, brought to you by the Marius Group of Ameriprise Financial Advisors. John Everson and Phil McCoy. Stop by 1270 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg or call them at 304-263-4343 for the Seton Hill Griffins. They will be starting number 2, Christiane Fry, senior guard from Monica, Pennsylvania. Number 3, Haleen Cowan from Pittsburgh. Number 4, Hallie Cowan out of Pittsburgh. Number 22, Shakira Harrelson out of Bellwood, Pennsylvania. Number 33, Abby Mankins from Greensburg, Pennsylvania. And on the Shepherd side, they'll be starting number 5, Peyton Grant, the sophomore out of Plymouth, Maine. Number 11, Kara Werner out of Staten Island, the freshman. Number 13, Layla Copeland, the junior transfer out of Reston, Virginia. Number 23, Kara Miner, the graduate student out of Hundred, West Virginia. And number 33, Sydney Bowles, the junior from Elkwood, West Virginia. I'll get you ready for our opening tip-off, brought to you by Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers, representing accident and injury claims for over 50 years. Go to SkinnerWins.com.
All right, here we go.
It'll be Harrelson and Bowles with the tip, and Seton Hill takes it. Driving down the lane, there's Hallie Cowan. She's going to pass it back out to Fry. Fry getting in the lane, puts up the shot with the left hand. Off the glass, 2 points. Seton Hill takes the early 2-0 lead.
The Rams getting beat off the dribble there. Some good help defense, but Fry just rises up and lays it in.
Bowles driving to her left with Fry on her, looking for some space, doesn't get it, gets it back out to Grant. Drive again, she's going to pull up from about 15 on the baseline. The jumper goes for Peyton Grant, her first 2-point field goal of the year.
Yeah, who said she can't make a 2-pointer, Dylan?
She's a great jump shooter.
Little step back move, didn't really love the shot initially, but she opened up pretty well and got a good look.
Look at this one driving in as Mankins. Fry from downtown. Too much on it, but she gets the rebound.
Got a box out shooter.
Fakes the pass out to the corner and then lays it up and in. First 2 points for Christiane Fry. 4-2, Griffins lead.
Yeah, she's already got all the 4 points, as you mentioned there, Dylan. And see Copeland here. Charge.
Charge on Layla Copeland. Her first foul on the Rams. It'll go the other way.
I'm excited to see her play. Only listed at 5 foot tall, but the leading scorer so far in terms of points per game for the Rams this season. So a little bit undersized, but certainly has been very aggressive on the offensive end and has found her shot.
So on the wing, Hallie Cowan. Guarded by Werner. She's going to use the pick. Goes to her left, goes back around her back. Can't get it up and in, though. Werner with the rebound. And then a kicked ball by Cowan. Ball stays with Shepherd.
Yeah, good rebound there from Warner. She might have jammed her thumb or index finger.
Freshman starting point guard, Kara Werner, averaging 6.8 points a game so far this year. Get it out, Kara Minor takes the pick from Bowles, looking, pass deflected, and it's a turnover.
Yeah, it just wasn't there. No reason to force that pass there from Minor.
Fry gets in the lane again, makes the pass. But for Mankins, puts it up, can't get it to go. Good defense by Bowles, gets the rebound, she'll bring it up.
Yeah, she recovered nicely. She gave up baseline, usually a bad sign.
Now Layla Copeland gets into the lane, the leading scorer so far this year for the Rams, makes it 4-4.
So far, Shepherd's getting into its sets offensively.
Harrelson on the block, puts it up and in over Minor. Lee goes back to the Griffins.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. Shepherd doesn't really have a ton of post play on its team, so Bowles has to play bigger than she is, and can be tough.
Copeland gets in the lane, the floater with the left hand, can't quite get it to go. Rebounded by Hallie Cowan. She'll push it up to her sister. She makes the pass over to Mankins, and they get the charge. Offensive foul on Seton Hill.
That's a good job by Shepherd. I mean, they got into positioning. Now, there wasn't a ton of contact, but enough to draw the foul. Obviously, maybe a little bit of a flop from the Rams, but hey, it worked out for them.
Werner will bring it up. Copeland looking to get into the lane again. Mankins on her, and she'll be fouled by Mankins. Going to the line for the first free throws of the game.
Yeah, Copeland clearly gives Shepherd something they were missing a lot of last year. That's a point guard they can attack off the dribble.
11.5 points per game so far this year. The only Shepherd Ram in double figures in points per game so far this year. First free throw up and in. 5 on the board for the Rams. 75% free throw shooter so far this year as Copeland. Gotten to the line for 32 shots through the first 4 games. And she'll sink both of them. Ties us back up at 6. Fry will bring it back up to 22.2 points per game scorer. This time, getting in the lane is Haleen Cowan. Makes it 8-6 Griffins.
Yeah, Cowan's first 2 points.
And stuffed on the pass attempt is Copeland. Seton Hill brings it back up. Warner defending. They'll kick it back out. Fry's wide open. Takes the 3. Can't get it to go. Rebounded by Minor, and she's fouled on the rebound attempt by Mankins.
It wasn't the best pass from the post. That kind of slowed down the shot for Fry because she was still open by the time it got to her, but a pass that hits her in the chest probably allows her to pull up right away. And then the Rams defense also is able to recover, so a little bit better pass. Maybe she can even flip it to the corner and get a 3 that way. But
Mankins,
instead it's a missed shot.
This ball stolen by Mia Kalich that just came off the bench. The leading rebounder at over 8 a game for Seton Hill just came in after the second foul for Mankins. Puts in the layup, and it's 10-6. Get the Werner on the left wing. Guarded closely by Kalich. She'll try to get into the lane. No good on that one. Rebounded by the Griffins. Cowan brings it up. Fakes the pass, tries to put up the shot, no good, but they get the offensive rebound. And eventually poked out and stolen by Copeland. And a foul on the way back.
So Carr is going to come on for the Rams as well as Bowman.
Jordan Carr started the first 3 games of the season for the Rams, and Copeland took over in relief. So looks like Carr back in the lineup in general, back in the rotation, but coming off the bench now.
From Charlestown, went to Jefferson High School. Good pass.
Bowles got into the lane and made the pass to Bowman. Go back out to Bowles in the corner. Guarded closely by Eisner. She makes the pass to Bowman with the left hand, puts it in. Make it 10-8. Rams cut the deficit to 2, but then on the other end, the Griffins step out of bounds. It looked like Pavlovich had an open lane to the hoop, but lost the dribble a little bit and then lost her footing. Lost her placement of her footing, at least. Stepped on the baseline.
Oh, it's just great defense from Sydney Bowles. I mean, she took away that baseline, stepped on the line, pretty much forced her to step out of bounds, and that's good D.
Bowles tries to make the cross-court pass. It's stolen by Fry. Werner with the foul on the way back.
Rare mistake from Bowles there, and she's going to come out but not do that mistake. I think they just probably want to give her a breather here, but we got a timeout. I think it's the under 5 media timeout. So.
It is. We'll take a 30-second break with them. This is Shepherd Basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
I pre-planned my funeral to make it easier on my family. They were relieved to know I'll get just what I want.
My family actually thanked me for taking matters into my own hands. Turns out having this awkward conversation wasn't awkward at all.
Pre-planning is my choice. There are certain things about me my family may not know. Now they won't need to guess.
The choices are yours. The peace of mind is theirs. Pre-plan your funeral with Brown Funeral Homes and everything will be taken care of. Find out more online at brownfuneralhomeswv.com. Brown Funeral Homes, here for you.
First timeout of the game here. 10-8 Seton Hill leads the Rams. Not a bad start so far for the Lady Rams, sitting 1-3 on the season. But that's kind of been an issue so far for the Rams, is putting together a full 40 minutes so far this year. We'll get to our first quarter sponsors. First quarter on TV 10 brought to you in part by Brown's Funeral Homes. Brown Funeral Homes and Cremations, Robert Fields & Sons, a family-owned full-service funeral home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ransom, proudly serving our area since 1880, and by CMA Hondas of Winchester, 3985 Valley Pike. CMA, moving lives forward. Fry takes the inbound out of the timeout. Hallie Cowan gets it back to Fry. She puts it up with the left. Can't quite get it to go. And the rebound attempt goes out of bounds, and it will go to the Rams. 4:35 left in the first quarter here.
Yeah, Shepherd's got a chance to tie it early in the ball game. A little double screen action.
Jordan Carr and at the top of the key. Get it back to Werner on the left wing and inside to Bowman now. Mismatch against Fry. She takes a step-back jumper, can't get it to go.
I kind of like Bowman, though. Don't necessarily love that shot, but nice move.
Fry trying to push the pace on the outside. Eisner's going to take a three in transition. Can't get it to go. It's short, rebounded by Grant.
But Bowman and Bowles had the good pick and roll earlier, so.
Werner with a step back, can't get that one. Fry comes up with it. Guarded closely on the way back by Carr. She pushes it up to Kalich. Over to Cowan. She can't get her three-pointer to go. Rebounded by Jordan Carr. She pushes it out on transition. 3-on-2. Pulls up from the elbow and gets it to go. Jordan Carr's first bucket of the game. Ties it at 10. 3:35 left in our first quarter.
Good job by Carr. Nobody really stopped ball, so she took advantage of that and knocked down the open J.
Go in the corner and then pass stolen by Bowman. They'll push it up with Werner. Pulls up from the free throw line. She gets her jumper to go. Kara Werner makes it 12-10, gives Shepherd the lead. Seton Hill trying to push the pace. And another turnover by the Griffins. Here comes Werner on the fast break. 2-on-1. She will pull up. Gets the bounce. The friendly Butcher center rims. Gets her two more. 14-10 Rams.
Seton Hill might want to think about a timeout here. Shepherd is getting after it on defense. They're taking away the post play, which is clearly where the Griffins want to work the ball.
Three-pointer by Fry. Puts it in over Werner.
Just kidding. That's what they want to do.
22 points a game she scores. She's putting in work so far.
If you get a shot with Fry, you feel pretty good about most possessions. They hadn't really gotten one, though, in a while.
Carr, room to work with a floater right in front of the restricted area. Two more for Carr. 16-13 Rams with just over 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Fry's going to blow by her defender on the other end, though. Make it a one-point game again.
Yeah, she's tough. I don't know if Shepherd has an answer for her, which could be the thing that helps Seton Hill if they're going to pull away at some point in this game, because, I mean, I just don't think the Rams necessarily have a great matchup there.
Carr pulls up.
But the Griffins don't have a matchup for Jordan Carr.
The long two again from Carr. Shepherd back up by 3. On the other side here, Kalich pulls up. Wide open 3 doesn't go. And the pass is not handled by Grant. That's a bad turnover.
Yeah, you can't have a turnover 90 feet away from the basket when nobody's on you.
So 3 substitutions made by the Rams. Cassidy Rhodes will come on. Copeland comes back into the game, as well as Sydney Bowles. Cassidy Rhodes, freshman, 5'6", out of Point of Rocks, Maryland, Brunswick High School. Fry guarded closely by Copeland. On the outside floater is blocked by Bowman. Nufi Namali had nothing going on that one.
Bowman's played well. She has that height that the Rams are kind of lacking.
I'll go back to Carr, top of the key. Gets the screen from Bowman. She cuts through it, splits it. They get it out. Long 2 from Copeland. Can't get it to go.
Good hustle.
But, yeah, she gets the ball back. We're under a minute to go in the first quarter. 18-15 Rams.
15 on the shot clock. See if you can set something up here. Get a good shot. The mid-range has been working well for Shepherd.
Pass attempt blocked for Carr. Cassidy Rhodes with 3 on the shot clock. 2-1. Copeland off the rim. It'll go out of bounds. With 37.2 seconds left in the first quarter.
Yeah, Seton Hill's doing a good job of using their they have very athletic post players, and they're getting out, making those passing lanes tough for the undersized Shepherd guard. So got to be aware of that if you're the Rams, and that kind of threw off that possession was that tip from Harrelson.
Fry. It's an illegal screen on Corinne Eisner.
Yeah, she was moving. And Copeland did a good job of sticking with Fry, making it tougher for Eisner to place the screen on her. So good communication from the Rams defense.
Shot clock turned off. 15 seconds left now. Get at the Bowles. We're at the elbow. She takes the shot. Too much on it. We're at 6 seconds. 5-4. Pushing it up. And it's a turnover off the hands of Sakira Harrelson. So 2.8 seconds left in the quarter. Shepherd will have one more shot to throw something up at the basket. And they'll get it in the car. One dribble, throws one up, doesn't get to the rim. But after one quarter, the Rams have a 3-point lead over the Seton Hill Griffins, 18-15. We'll take a 1-minute break for ourselves and be back for quarter number 2 between the Rams and the Griffins. This is Shepherd University basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
The Honda Ridgeline, Passport, and Pilot are in a league of their own when it comes to rugged capability. Their relentless power and versatility make these vehicles the ultimate challengers for exhilarating adventures and formidable terrain. But it's not just performance that makes these cars special. It's the unwavering determination that inspires everything we do. That's why we're KBB.com's best value brand of 2023.
CMA's Honda of Winchester, 3985 Valley Pike. CMA's moving lives forward.
Available all-wheel drive on Pilot based on 2023 brand image awards from Kelley Blue Book. Visit kbb.com for more information.
Finally, West Virginia is moving in the right direction. As your West Virginia Senate President, Craig Blair has passed the most conservative legislative agenda in the nation. He has fought for our values like banning elective abortions, protecting our Second Amendment rights, and prevented boys from playing in girls' sports. Senator Craig Blair championed the largest tax cut in the history of our state. Craig Blair, a strong conservative leader. Promises made, promises kept. This election, vote for Republican Craig Blair for State Senate. Paid for by the Committee to Re-elect Craig Blair.
Back here at the Butcher Center, second quarter starting, Rams leading the Seton Hill Griffins 18-15 after 10 minutes of play. Dylan Bishop and Nick Verzolini here for TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube as the Rams open up the quarter with the ball. Carr guarded closely and a little too closely by Hallie Cowan. She's called for the foul. It'll be the first one on Cowan. Cassidy Rhodes will inbound to Copeland. Ball poked away for a second by Kalich. Bowles will drive in on her left, trying to find some room to work. Can't quite do it. She's going to have to pass it out. 8 on the shot clock. Copeland got to get something going. Drive to the rim, dribbles the ball off her foot, and it's a turnover. Christiane Fry out in transition, one-on-one. Can't get the layup to go. Good defense by Bowles, but the offensive rebound and the second chance points for Sakira Harrelson.
Yeah, Harrelson's a very solid post player. You got the rush shot from Fry, but then you didn't really have anybody to get a body on Harrelson. She just puts it back up and in.
Bowles at the elbow, working against Kalich. Can't quite get that one to go. Rebounded by Seton Hill. Fry passes it up too far in front of Hallie Cowan. It'll be a turnover. And Bowman will check out. Peyton Grant checks back in. No three-point attempts so far for Peyton Grant, shooting just about 41% on those shots so far this year.
It seems like Shepherd's trying to work it into the high post, get Bowles her touches.
Hasn't gotten the shots to fall quite yet. Kara Miner on the corner. She travels as she gets the ball. Drags that second foot. See that? Depending on the official, you'll see that called a good bit here in PSAC play.
Yeah, we'll see it in the men's game as well. But
Cowan sisters working the ball back and forth between them.
Turnovers starting to pile up a little bit for the Rams. So.
And there's a turnover on the other side by the Griffins. Bowles going to bring it up, makes the pass, and it's stolen by Fry, intercepted, and then she throws the ball off the leg of Sydney Bowles as she's going out of bounds to keep possession with the Griffins.
Yeah, it's a great play from Fry. I mean, she's been all over the place on both ends of the floor there. After a turnover from her team, she sprints back down the floor, gets a steal. And
there's another turnover by Cowan. Miner gets the steal this time.
Saves a basket on the other end.
Copeland inside the Bowles, puts it up and in. Sydney Bowles finally up on the board with 2 points. And on the other end, Fry working quick. She puts it high up off the backboard and in. 20-19, Rams lead.
She already has 9, so she's got 9 of the 19.
Carr works it over to Bowles in the high post. Go back to Carr. And she can't get that one to go as Fry hits the deck. Eileen Cowan on the break. Reach-in foul on Sydney Bowles. 7:35 left in the second quarter, which is brought to you in part on TV 10 by Orsini's Home Store, not just an appliance store any longer, at 360 Hack Wilson Way in Martinsburg and Orsinis.com.
Yeah, only Bowles first. Fouls haven't really played a factor so far in this one.
Eileen Cowan puts up the corner 3, can't get it to go. Copeland comes down with it, and they start the break. They'll pull it back out to the top of the key, though. Grant guarded by Cowan. Screen from Bowles. Goes the other way, and it's poked out by Cowan. She'll try to run out. Doesn't have her own numbers, but she draws the foul on Bowles. 2 quick fouls on Sydney Bowles, and that's going to bring Carmaya Bowman running off the bench to take her out.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, Bowles is probably Shepherd's best all-around player. So for her to have 2 fouls now, she probably can play with 2 fouls here in the second quarter, but you want to probably sit her for a little bit. It is still the first half. You only get 5 in college basketball. Free throw no good there, so Shepherd's still in the lead. At the very least, it will be tied. I actually like how Bowman's played, but you want Bowles' ability to pass and rebound in there if you can.
That's Carmaya Bowman inbounds that one. We're tied at 20 after Seton Hill goes 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Copeland working against Fry. Tough defense. And they're going to call the foul on Fry.
We'll take it if you're Shepherd. I thought maybe
might have been
Copeland
a carry.
Got away with a carry there, I thought, but I guess they're saying the contact possibly caused it.
6:58 left in the second quarter. Ball's inbounded to Bowman. She makes the pass to a cutting Copeland, who's blocked by Joy Burley. Fry passing it up to Burley, and Kara Minor getting in the way of the pass. It's last out off of Burley, and the Rams take the ball back.
Yeah, good hustle there from Kara Minor. Able to sprint back on defense. Knows that this team, Seton Hill, they want to work the post. Shepherd's wanting to work the post in this game. A lot of post action for both teams.
3-pointer from Kara Minor, puts it in. Kara Minor.
That's something
Stretch
Shepherd's
5.
been waiting to see.
Only her second made 3 of the year.
A consistent jumper from Minor. She can shoot it with some of the best in the PSAC. She just hasn't been making them early in the year, but if they can get her going and give Shepherd another threat to make those threes to go along with Peyton Grant, you got something offensively here for the Rams. Another foul against the Rams here in the second quarter.
Haley Cowan gets in the lane and draws the foul on Bowman.
Yeah. That's only her first, so you definitely don't want her to pick up another one because you're already kind of short on your front court players with Bowles having to sit here with 2 early, so can't have any from Bowman here.
First free throw from Cowan goes in. Second quarter on TV 10, also brought to you by Craig Blair for State Senate, the Eastern Panhandle's first and only Senate President and Lieutenant Governor, a fiscal and social conservative who's making West Virginia great again by cutting taxes and creating jobs. Let's re-elect Craig Blair in 2024.
23-22.
6 minutes to go before the half. Minor with the ball at the top of the key, looks into Bowman. Works against Burley and turns around, can't quite get the bounce. And then they'll call a loose ball foul on Minor on the rebound attempt. First foul of the night on Kara Minor. 14 fouls for Seton Hill and 2 for the Rams so far.
I believe one more. We're shooting 1-1. I think it's 5 per quarter.
Fry working on the corner, tries to find room, throws up with the left hand up and under. Can't get it to go, and then out of bounds off the Griffins. Kara Werner working the ball up. Copeland on the left wing, looking for room, pulls up from the elbow, can't quite get it. Rebounded by Fry. She's going to try to start the break, pushes it over to Cowan. She makes another pass back to Fry, and a foul. Hard foul. As Fry hits the deck. It's another one on Bowman. She picks up 2 quick ones for herself.
So now Shepherd has a decision to make here with Bowman. They're going to let her play through it. And bring Carr back in for Copeland. I like that decision. Copeland a little bit wild here in the second quarter. See if Carr can kind of slow things down, bring back some balance. And now they might be getting Bowman here, yeah. So Ram's going to go a little bit smaller, and we'll see how this plays out.
That's the thing with this Shepherd team, and it's been a Shepherd issue for a while, the size in the forwards for the women's team. Fry will sink the first of 2, ties it up at 23 with 5:10 to go.
She now has 10.
On pace to at least match her season average so far, as she sinks that one for her 11th point, and the lead goes back to the Griffins.
I guess technically she's on pace for more than that.
That's true, with 5 minutes left in the second quarter. Minor spinning, tries to find the pass. It's deflected by Cowan, out of bounds. And with exactly 5 minutes left in the quarter, I guess it's not quite an under 5 timeout. You take it with exactly 5 left. So we'll take the 30-second break with them. It's 24-23 Seton Hill over Shepherd currently. We'll be back in 30 seconds with more Shepherd basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Have you been smoking? I can smell it. Hickory.
I'm gonna watch you smoke the whole pack. Shop now and save at Orsini's today.
Have you been smoking? I can smell it. Hickory.
I'm gonna watch you smoke the whole pack. Shop now and save at Orsini's today.
5 minutes to go until halftime. Seton Hill with a 1-point lead over Shepherd. It's been back and forth. A lot of turnovers by both sides so far.
Yeah, let's see here what we got in the turnover category. Honestly,
it's felt like a lot, perhaps. Maybe it's not as many as it felt like.
That's not what I was pointing out to. Yeah, it has been a lot, 10 for each team.
There you go, yeah.
What I was going to say is Shepherd has actually done a pretty good job on the glass, which at times it feels like they haven't, but it's only 14-11 in the rebounding category in favor of Seton Hill. So the key, though, is that 3 of those rebounds that are the difference of those offensive rebounds. So.
Yep. Rhodes will inbound it, and it's stolen by Fry. She'll push the ball up and has to hold it at the top of the key. Can't quite get the fast break. She gives it out to Haggerty on the right wing before getting it back. Trying to make it work against Werner. Finds some room. Little too strong off the glass. Haggerty got the rebound and put up a miss of her own. And Minor came down with the rebound. Carr will use the screen, get the switch against Haggerty, and she draws the foul. She'll get 2 free throws.
Overall, I think Carr's played well. Feels like, the whole Shepherd team has played well considering, where they were a year ago, and maybe heading into this matchup, you didn't like it necessarily for Shepherd in a lot of ways, but I think they've found ways to still be pretty productive.
As I mentioned in our pregame, it feels like this year's team has more defined roles and players playing in the right roles as the first free throw goes for Carr. Copeland and Carr and Werner running the point and the ball handling duties. Feels like that's what they should be doing. Peyton Grant not having to take as much of the load as the second free throw is off. We stay tied, and Haley and Cowan flies up the floor. Gets the and 1 to give the Griffins the lead. 4:22 left in the second quarter.
I would say, like, my biggest takeaway is, and this might sound a little harsh, but, like, Shepherd actually looks like a basketball team this year in terms of.
I might have made that point to you off the air when talking about the game I saw last week, where it felt like just a cohesive team.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by players playing in their same role as the and one free throw goes in.
Like, at times, they just always looked very out of system, very inconsistent, at least in this game and what we've seen at times this year. Is good take here from Copeland. She gets to the line. Shepherd has been able to get into its sets, run what it wants to run, instead of just kind of running all over the place. And I think a lot of that has to do with the personnel now. You at least have, like, true point guards on the team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Peyton Grant is really a point guard. She's more of an off-ball player, but she had to play that role last year. So overall, I think things have looked a lot more consistent throughout this season, and that's a great step in the right direction.
First free throw off from Copeland. It didn't feel like last year's team had that cohesive identity of this player handles this role, this player handles this role. It felt like everyone was trying to do a little bit of everything last year, and it just didn't quite work out. Players doing more than they were perhaps capable of. Second free throw for Copeland goes in. Shepherd down by just 2. Kick out by Fry to the wing. The drive and dish by Jovic over to Harrelson for 2 points.
Yeah, I mean, she's been a tough matchup for Shepherd all day. She's already up to now 8 points in this first half. Turnover there.
Another steal by Cowan, pushes it up to Jovic, and she'll get it to go. 6-point lead for Seton Hill. Might be their largest of the game so far.
Yeah, I'd think about maybe a timeout here from Shepherd. Just trying to get something going.
Copeland too strong off the glass. And out in transition, the Griffins go again. Cowan again, too strong, but the offensive rebound.
I mean, Shepherd's too small right now. You got both Hairston and Copeland in the game who are 5 foot and 5'3". Like, that's just, I don't feel like both of them should be in the game at the same time.
As a small lineup. 8-point lead now for the Griffins. Timeout called by the Rams with 3:21 left in quarter number 2. We'll take a 30-second break. We'll be back with more Shepherd basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer!
The Mountaineer Pub offers many daily specials, including Trivia Night Mondays, Karaoke Tuesdays, Steak Night Wednesdays and Sundays, Boneless Swing Night Thursdays, and DJ and/or karaoke, again Fridays and Saturdays. And remember, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays through Fridays is happy hour with $2 domestic bottles and $2.50 domestic drafts.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Pub!
33-25 out of the timeout with 3:21 to go until halftime. The Rams trying to get through a bit of a run by Seton Hill. De'Ara Hairston checking in for the first time in this one. The junior out of Martinsburg High School.
Surprised Shepherd didn't make any subs here. I don't know if this is going to work. I mean,
this looks like, the second tallest player on the court right now for Shepherd is Peyton Grant, who is a guard, stands at 5'6". Werner's going to pull this one up from mid-range, gets that one to go. Cuts the lead down to 6 with under 3 minutes to go.
And we've seen some flashes of the talent from Warner and some of these other young players on this team. So if Shepherd can kind of build around them, they have some potential here down the line. Good job by Hairston to go up there and get that rebound.
And she's going to push it. Passes it over to Copeland. Steps back mid-range. Can't quite get it to go. Seton Hill pushing again, and Peyton Grant with the reach-in foul to slow things down, perhaps. Seton Hill getting out in transition a lot in the second quarter, and it has paid dividends so far.
Yeah, I mean, turnovers have piled up for the Rams a little bit. It's also forced them to foul quite a bit here in the second quarter, so Seton Hill starting to get to the line a little bit more. But, I mean, they've been very aggressive in terms of what they want to do offensively or on defense, and that's led to easy offense.
2 for 2 at the line goes Helene Cowan.
How does Shepherd keep it close here in these final 2 minutes so you're going to halftime with some confidence? That's going to be really important. Looks like Warner might have lost the contact, so that's not good. Luckily,
get a jump ball,
but she was out of the play there. Or I don't know what
she
happened.
may have just got
hit in the face.
I think that's what happened. Holding onto her nose or eyes.
She says she's good, though.
Yep, gives the thumbs up to the bench. But the possession arrow belonged to Seton Hill. 2:08 to go before halftime.
I mean, big stretch here, even though it's only the first half. Good job by Minor.
Kara Minor draws the charge on Harrelson. Nice
even
play.
though, she hasn't been contributing offensively like you would expect Kara Minor to, she's brought her defense today. And, brought her hustle, playing tough. She has the height, but she doesn't necessarily, she's not built necessarily to guard a player like Harrelson.
Copeland loses the ball as he tries to drive in. Cowan pushing the pace again. Brings it up to Mankins, and she goes up. Can't get the first one to go, but got the offensive board. Diving on the floor. Werner comes up with it. There goes Shepherd. Seeing if they have numbers. It looks like 4-on-4. Hairston trying to make a play. And they're going to say last touched out of bounds by Hairston. 1:27 to go before the halftime. Buzzer sounds.
Isn't it funny that not a lot of people are here, but probably the biggest star in Shepherdstown or Martinsburg, Eastern Panhandle's here?
Tyson Bagent, backup quarterback of the Chicago Bears, is in the building.
I wasn't going to give it away in case he's under.
He's not in his incognito setup he was like for the Mercyhurst football game. So 35-27, working inside and then back out to Fry is Seton Hill, and looks like they'll call a loose ball foul on Kara Minor.
Men's team has gotten here a little bit earlier and getting a chance to watch their classmates, I guess is what you refer to them as. 35-27 our score here, 1:07 left in the first half.
Minor goes to the bench, and the sophomore from Ravenswood, West Virginia, Annie Hunt, checks into the game for the first time. 5'10" sophomore guard. First free throw is missed by Jovic. Second one goes.
It feels like Shepherd's still trying to figure out that rotation a little bit, going a little bit deeper into your bench than what most teams go to.
Werner pulls up from about 10 feet, gets the bounce, and one.
I'm liking Warner. The more I see from her, I think she's definitely playing with some confidence. Hasn't really had a big impact early in the season, but she's got a good game here today. She played tough, brought some hustle. A lot of good stuff from her.
Just a freshman from Staten Island, New York.
Yeah, Shepherd's expanded its recruiting a little
Layla
bit.
Copeland coming across the court to steal that one. A floater on the other end. Can't quite get it to go. Fry's going to come push it on the other side. 45 seconds left in the half, and a nice move by Christian Fry.
That was smooth. She's tough. Like, I've said it all game. Like, she's quick. She kind of reminds you of Abby Beeman a little bit. Has that quickness.
And Annie Hunt is going to travel, trying to dribble and back her away. Tried to make a pass out, but couldn't do it without a travel. So 38-29. Shot clock turned off, 27.3 to go.
This isn't necessarily a position Hunt's used to be playing. She's a 5'10", but she's listed as a guard. So
Fry picks up her dribble. Copeland pokes the ball out, and it's last out off of Fry. Nice play by Layla Copeland to force the turnover. So Shepherd now has a chance to potentially take the last shot of the half.
If they can get it to go, they're right in the game. Even if they don't, they're only down 9 here at half. But
5 seconds left on the clock. Werner looking for room to maneuver. Pulls up, floater, gets it to go. Kara Werner. Dirk Nowitzki tight fadeaway from the mid-range. Puts it in. 38-31 is our score at the half.
That was impressive. And honestly, I mean, you got to be really impressed with Shepherd's first half here. They're on pace for more points than they average per game. They're battling. I think Seton Hill, toward the end of that first half, started to play more like the team we expected them to be here today. But honestly, I think Shepherd's right in the game for a reason. They're fighting. They're playing hard on both ends of the floor. They got a little bit of foul trouble. That kind of held them back a little bit. But they're right in the game. We'll see how the second half goes, Dylan.
And we'll take a 2-minute break and be back with the Mansion Ferretti Law Firm halftime show. Shepherd basketball here on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
After a car accident, what do you get when you call Mansion Ferretti?
You get more experience from a local law firm with over 115 years of combined service.
More respect from a team who treats clients like their own family.
And more fight, because we want you to get every dollar you deserve.
Experience, respect, results. If you've been injured, that's what you want in your lawyer.
And that's what you'll get when you call us. Car accident? Get more with Mansion Ferretti. 304-264-8505.
Finally, West Virginia is moving in the right direction. As your West Virginia Senate President, Craig Blair has passed the most conservative legislative agenda in the nation. He has fought for our values like banning elective abortions, protecting our Second Amendment rights, and prevented boys from playing in girls' sports. Senator Craig Blair championed the largest tax cut in the history of our state. Craig Blair, a strong conservative leader. Promises made, promises kept. This election, vote for Republican Craig Blair for State Senate. Paid for by the Committee to Re-elect Craig Blair.
At Dutch Miller Automotive, we've grown quite a bit over the last 60 years, but our core principles remain the same. We believe in treating our customers and our team members like friends and family, and we see it as our obligation to give back to all the communities we are so fortunate to do business in. In just West Virginia alone, we've grown from one location on the west end of Huntington to 10 rooftops employing more than 500 Mountaineers. Check out the inventory from all of our stores at DutchMillerAuto.com. Dutch Miller Automotive Group, West Virginia proud.
Back here at the Butcher Center, it's halftime. The Shepherd Lady Rams trail Seton Hill 38-31 at the half. We welcome you into the halftime show brought to you by the Mansion Ferretti Law Firm in Martinsburg, where it's about seeking justice for you. Go to wvjusticelawyers.com. Dylan Bishop, Nick Verzolini here with you in the Butcher Center. Josh Reston is our cameraman. And back in the studio, it's Colin McLaughlin, who after this segment you'll hear from the halftime scoreboard show. But before we get into that, let's get into our first half stats brought to you by the Berkeley County Health Department. Prevent, promote, protect, offering public, clinical, and environmental services at 122 Waverly Court in Martinsburg. Nick, you have our first half stats.
We'll start with Seton Hill, since they're the visitors so far, or they're the visitors today. And for Seton Hill so far, Fry has been very good offensively in terms of scoring. She has 15 points, but 5 turnovers in that first half. Now she's made up for it, 4 steals on the defensive side. Cohen with 10, Harrelson with 10 as well. So just 3 players doing the majority of the scoring, and then you have 3 points from one other player there to get you to 38-31. For Shepherd, on the scoring side of things, 10 points for Warner. She's been the leader here at the half. Grant with 2, Copeland with 5, Minor with 3, Bowles with 2, 7 points for Carr. She gave Shepherd a nice little burst in that first quarter of play. In terms of some other things to look at, in terms of overall team stats here at the half, Shepherd shooting 13 of 28 from the floor, so just under 50%. Seton Hill 14 of 33 at 42%. Three-pointers, the Rams are 50%, but they've only taken 2, 1 for 2. Seton Hill is 1 for 8 from downtown, so Not a whole lot of threes falling in that first half of play. Rams 4 for 7 in free throws made and attempted, and Seton Hill is 9 of 11, so they got to the line a little bit more. Out-rebounded Shepherd by 6 in that first half. And let's see here. That's about it for your halftime stats. Turnovers 16-13. Shepherd with more turnovers. Rams with more bench points, 9-3. And I think that's about it. 13 points for Shepherd off turnovers, only 8 for Seton Hill. So the Rams have done a better job of taking advantage of those opportunities. But, overall it's been a pretty balanced game when you look at most of these numbers. But just a few things, I think the possessions maybe have hurt them a little bit.
Offensive rebounds,
Shepherd,
second chance points,
and
points in transition really seem to be the areas to clean up in the second half for the Rams, I would say.
I would agree. I mean, maybe try to get a little bit going from the perimeter. I know it hasn't necessarily been your strength, but if you have a good look, no reason not to take it. Maybe they're trying to prevent those shots because maybe they feel like too many threes have pushed them out of games quicker, which if that's the case, definitely stay away from that if that's what you feel like. But, I wouldn't hate especially because you don't really have the height, so you're getting a lot of drives to the rim where you really don't have a matchup to be taking those drives. So that could be something maybe. It doesn't have to be a three either. You can use that mid-range game, which I think the Rams did a pretty good job of using the mid-range game to their strength. And then just try to get maybe Sydney Bowles going. I know she had a rough first half, but if you can get her going offensively, because you've honestly, if you told me that she had 2 points at halftime, I'd be pretty shocked to see Shepherd only down by 7. So Warner has stepped up great. Carr gave you a nice boost at one point. Copeland had a little bit of a run early. If you see something here in the second half from Sydney Bowles, who's usually one of your top scorers, Shepherd could come back and win this thing, especially if you're able to get her going. And, Fry has been good in terms of scoring, but like I said, she's turned it over quite a bit, so you've done some good things on her. Now, it's going to be tough to contain her scoring, but if you can at least limit maybe Harrelson, who's just been, dominant down low, given those easy shots, a jump shooter and a guard is not going to hurt you as much if you force her to take tough shots. But if you're consistently allowing layups under the basket to a post player like Harrelson, that opens up things for Fry and transition and stuff like that. So, that would be something, too, on the defensive side. For Seton Hill, I think they just kind of play how they played toward the end of that second quarter, keep the defensive intensity high, cause turnovers, bring pressure on the Shepherd side. And I think they'll be fine, and they may even extend this lead if they're able to do some of those things. But if they slowly let the Rams back into it or keep the Rams sticking around, it could get close down the stretch, and then you never know what's going to happen if the game's close down the stretch, especially with fouls and everything like that. So I think overall it's been a pretty entertaining game, and I didn't know if we necessarily expected that coming in. I thought Seton Hill would pull away early. They haven't really quite separated enough over Shepherd, and I think Shepherd has enough good things going for them where they can continue to keep this a competitive game.
7 minutes until the second half starts. Let's take a 2-minute break and send it back to Colin McLaughlin. Get you some scores from around the PSAC as they're in play here today. This is Shepherd Basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
The Skinner family has been representing West Virginians for more than 50 years.
We've changed the name of our firm to Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers because we want to be clear about what we do. We represent people who have been in car, truck, and other catastrophic accidents.
We're here to be a voice for the injured and vulnerable, and we take that job seriously with deep commitment to serving our clients wherever they are.
Just Google Skinner Accident Lawyer or visit SkinnerWins.com. We'll treat you like family.
I pre-planned my funeral to make it easier on my family. They were relieved to know I'll get just what I want.
My family actually thanked me for taking matters into my own hands. Turns out having this awkward conversation wasn't awkward at all.
Pre-planning is my choice. There are certain things about me my family may not know. Now they won't need to guess.
The choices are yours. The peace of mind is theirs. Pre-plan your funeral with Brown Funeral Homes and everything will be taken care of. Find out more online at brownfuneralhomeswv.com. Brown Funeral Homes, here for you.
Nothing goes better with football than chicken. From Pee-wee to the big boys to the wing T formation. A hearty meal of 12 pieces for $12 is just what the boys need to be at their best. Oh my, fumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Rock's 12 pieces of chicken, just $12.
Welcome into the And One Halftime Scoreboard show on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. Shepherd women's basketball team trails Seton Hill 38-31 at home at the half. Let's now take a look around the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference for some other halftime scores in women's basketball. At the half, it is Lock Haven 27, Pitt Johnstown 26. Gannon is up big against Bloomsburg 42-19. Mansfield leads Clarion also by a wide margin, 45-29 is the score at the half of that one. And California of PA is currently up by 2 against Millersville at the half by a score 32-30. Some other scores around the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Mercyhurst leads East Stroudsburg in a low-scoring affair at the half, 25-19. Westchester is in control over Slippery Rock, 43-22. Kutztown leads Edinboro, 35-28. And Indiana, PA leads Shippensburg by a score of 36-29. That is your scores around the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. I'll have some final scores during our post-game scoreboard show, as well as a look at the matchups going on later this evening on the men's side of things. But we'll step aside and take another 2-minute break. And on the other side of that break, we'll send it back to Dylan and Nick at the Butcher Center for the second half. Again, Shepherd trails Seton Hill 38-31 at the half in this one. Still got 20 minutes left, though, so let's send it back over to the Butcher Center on the other side of this 2-minute break. This is Shepherd University Rams basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
At Carter Myers Automotive, what we do today will tomorrow become what we've done. That's why Owners Just Do More no longer defines us. Our work is never done, because what we live by doesn't have a finish line. We care. Our company of owners is moving lives forward every day by finding more ways to care before, during, and after your purchase. Because when you're happy, so are we. Carter Myers Automotive. Proud to be the owners who just care more.
Hi, Crescia Hornby here. Larry DeMarco, broker of Modern Realty Results, believes he has some of the best real estate agents in the Eastern Panhandle. Agents at Modern Realty Results have years of experience and knowledge of the local real estate market. Agents within the office work as a team to provide quality customer service. We strive to always ensure client satisfaction through handling every transaction with honesty and integrity, all while offering competitive rates. Modern Realty Results is veteran-owned and managed. Please call us at 262-4222, modernrealtyresults.com.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna call my parents. Dad, come over. The brisket's done.
The Traeger Connected Experience. Everything you need for epic flavor, and then some.
Shop now and save at Orsini's today.
Hi, I'm Lori.
And I'm Dave. It's hard to believe, but Bechtel Jewelers is going out of business. Before we close, you can save up to 80% off our entire inventory of gold, diamonds, watches, even unique estate jewelry.
Everything in our inventory must go. And now we've taken deeper discounts store-wide. So Help Santa out early this year and visit Bechtel Jewelers before it's too late.
Just over 30 seconds until the start of half number 2 here from the Butcher Center in Shepherdstown, West Virginia. Dylan Bishop and Nick Ferzolini for TV10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. It's 38-31, Seton Hill over Shepherd here in PSAC women's basketball. We're getting ready to start the third quarter after Seton Hill won the second quarter 23-13 to go up by 7 into the half.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to actually bring up, Dylan, is that, yes, Shepherd played pretty well in that first half, but that second quarter, not going nearly as well as the first quarter did for the Rams, a 10-point deficit. So, you get the ball here first to start the second half, see if you can get something going, build some momentum.
Peyton Grant, first three-pointer of the game, too much on it.
She took the dribble, which I think threw off her timing.
Mankin's going to kick this one out to Hallie Cowan. Deep three-pointer. Comes up short. Kara Miner gets the rebound. Werner works the ball up the court. Kicks it up to Miner. Pump fakes out on the three-point line and drives it in and draws the foul against Sakira Harrelson.
Well, Dylan, what is Kara Miner in for? Three-point shots. So you get the defense thinking, okay, she's a shooter. She likes that shot. They close out a little bit too quickly on the pursuit. Miner uses the pump fake and gets a good look at the rim and then gets fouled. So, she's a good shooter. She can knock these down all day. And if that's going to be what it takes to get her offense going, Shepherd will certainly take it. And she'll take it as well. You just see the ball go through the basket, you can start building that confidence.
It was 1 of 2 from the line. That was her first missed free throw of the year so far. Started off the year 6 for 6. Makes it a 6-point game here.
That's a good job by you, Dylan, to do your announcer's jinx stat after it already missed. So then you can't affect things moving forward.
Exactly. And it's turned over by Harrelson. It'll go back the way of the Rams. That's how you know that Miner struggled from the field, from three-point land so far. But you can always see, look at a player's free throw percentage to see really, what's going on with their shooting. Are they in a slump? Are they on a hot streak? Maybe that'll come back down.
Shepherd's changed it up defensively. Miner is now guarding Harrelson.
Copeland with the long 2 doesn't get the bounce. Rebounded by Harrelson.
Which is something they had to go to. There's no turnover.
Turnover. Copeland gets it up to Bowles. She puts it up with the left hand. Sydney Bowles, and she gets the turnover forced on the other end. 2 quick turnovers by the Griffins.
All right, so I like this switch here because Miner did a pretty good job earlier. We have officials discussing something, I think, but Miner did a pretty good job earlier on Harrelson when she was in. Bowles is in a little bit of foul trouble, just 2 fouls here at halftime, but you switch it up, and I think it could help Shepherd defensively.
Copeland with the floater, foul, and 1. A fast start to quarter number 3 for the Rams, and Layla Copeland goes to the line with a chance to make this a 1-point game.
Really like the fight I've seen so far from the Rams. It would be pretty easy after that second quarter to come out flat here in the second half, and Shepherd hasn't done that. And you can tell Seton Hill's a little bit frustrated. They're surprised. It's a 2-point game right now. Chance to make it a 1-point game against Shepherd, who just struggled so badly last year. 38-37, Dylan. We got ourselves a good game here early on.
We do. Copeland, nice start to the second half after going 1 of 8 in half number 2. Hallie Cowan short on the layup and then fouls Bowles afterwards, going for the rebound.
You can tell you're frustrated when you get a foul like that. Like Bowles clearly has control of that basketball, and Cowan just reaches in, kind of gets a dumb foul, honestly. I mean, that's her third now, so.
Hallie Cowan was 0 for 2 from the field in the first half. No points up on the board. Werner gets into the lane, throws it up, too strong. Colleen Cowan gets the rebound, kicks it out to Mankins on the corner, and then back to Cowan in the corner. Can't get that one to go. Miner gets it to Bowles. She's going to try to push it up the floor. Kicks it out to Miner for three. Off the right side of the iron. And as Cowan goes for the rebound,
that's tough. That's
near the corner, Bowles is going to get called for the push.
Yeah, I mean, you like the hustle from Bowles, but you obviously don't like the foul there. It's now 3 on her. Again, she only has 2 more to give. And I mean, look, Bowman's played well, but she also has 2. And if you have to go small ball against this team, you're going to see a lot of what we saw in the first half.
And Carmea Bowman has to come in just about 2.5 minutes into the half. Mankins tries to drive against Miner, picks up her dribble, loses the ball, gets it back, and steps on the baseline. Another turnover for the Griffins.
Again, I mean, Miner has been tough on the inside. She's made it difficult for these Griffins post players to really find their spot.
Copeland out of the top of the key against Mankins. Mismatch, perhaps. And maybe this goes the other way. Blocked by Mankins. Eventually goes out of bounds off of Shepard.
It was a mismatch, but maybe for the defender.
Copeland tried to use her quickness against the bigger, taller Mankins, but couldn't quite get by her. Threw up the layup anyway.
It hasn't really been there, and I like the aggressiveness, but not in that situation.
Mankins takes the 3, misses, rebounded by Bowman. Werner's going to push the ball up to Grant, takes the long 3. Not enough on it. Now Jovic gets the rebound. She's going to bring it up. Kicks it out to the corner for Cowan, and it's a corner 3 for the Griffins. Colleen Cowan, who had 4 points at the half, 10 points at the half, adds on.
Yeah, she's got 13 now, 4-point lead. Peyton Grant took that 3 with numbers last possession, so a bit too much. There you go, good pass.
Gets it into Bowman, puts one up over Mankins, can't make it go in the hoop. Fry gets the rebound, brings it up, passes it up to Jovic, and she's fouled.
Yeah, Miner got put in a tough transition. She just tries to contest the shot. Ideally, she would have got over and put both hands up and not kind of swatted at Jovic, but she swatted, and coming down on that swat, she made contact there. So now she has 2. She's going to come out. She seemed a little bit tired there, so give her a little bit of a rest. But Shepard has to go small ball.
First one goes for Paula Jovic. 3 points in the first half for the redshirt sophomore 5'7" guard out of Barcelona, Spain. She goes 2 for 2.
It's all about Shepard expanding its recruiting. Seton has certainly done that.
Right. 43-37, 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Jordan Carr doesn't get the foul call.
Too much ISO this half.
Cowan pushes it up to her sister, and it's Haleen. Can't get that one to go. Jovic passes it over to Kalich, and she puts it in over Bowman. 8-point lead once again for Seton Hill.
A lot of the sets have been guards trying to get to the rim for Shepard, and I think get back into what was working well for you in that first half, the high post game. I know Sydney Bowles is out, but find somebody else to get your offense going.
Copeland guarded by Kalich at the top of the key. Bowman comes for the pick. Thought about the 3, tried to make the pass, and it was a turnover.
Like that whole possession was just standing around and watching Copeland dribble. Look at the ball movement.
Kick out to the corner for Mankins. Almost took the 3. Drives in and instead gets her rebound. And it's the second shot that goes for Mankins. And with a 10-point advantage, the Rams call a timeout. 47-37 with 4:57 left in quarter number 3. We'll be back after this 30-second break with more Shepard basketball here on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How can I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm John Everson, Private Wealth Advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
Welcome back. Timeout taken by the Rams after a run by Seton Hill puts them up by 10, or third quarter on TV 10. Brought to you in part by Hagerstown Ford, revolutionizing the car buying experience. Go to fordofhagerstown.com, and by Smallwin Small Insurance in Martinsburg, your total insurance solution at 121 Administrative Drive. You can call them at 304-263-3361. Nick, just under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Seton Hill back up to around where they were at halftime. Well, actually, added on a little more. First 10-point lead of the game for them. Shepherd drew it to 1, but then Seton Hill with the run right back.
Yeah, I like this because I was going to say, if I was Coach Kaufman and Shepherd, I'd say, look, I know Sydney Bowles has 3 fouls, but she's one of our playmakers. We need her in the game. We need Kara Miner in the game to create some offensive rhythm, and this is a good substitution because if you get down, more than 10, the fact that Bowles has 3 fouls doesn't matter anymore.
Now Werner kicked it out to the corner to Bowles, but her three-point attempt finds nothing but air. Jovic in the corner sinks the corner 3. Biggest lead of the game so far, 13 for the Griffins.
Yeah, Jovic, very solid.
And Carr bullies her way towards the rim and draws the foul on Jovic.
That's one of the big differences in this game, though, is the ability to have these guards like Seton Hill has that have a lot of abilities to be taller, play in the post, but also knock down jumpers. Shepherd doesn't really have that on their side.
And we'll get another timeout, immediate timeout here with 4:20 left to go in quarter number 3. We'll take a 30-second break with them. This is Shepherd Basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. Back to the Butcher Center. It's 50-37. Seton Hill leading the Shepherd Lady Rams. And Shepherd needs something to go their way to stop the momentum that the Griffins have right now.
Yeah, we saw some great things from Shepherd to start this second half. But then they had to go into their bench, and those great things didn't carry over. So They kind of went away from a lot of the offensive things that were working for them during that stretch and in the first half. And I think if you're going to get back into the game and make it competitive, you need a run here in this final 4:20 of the third quarter to have any shot. And it starts at the line. Carr misses that one. Hopefully she's able to knock this one down if you're the Rams. But if not, it's going to be tough here down 13 because it just feels like Seton Hill can kind of do whatever it wants on offense.
Carr goes 1 of 2. Second most free throw attempts on the year behind Copeland so far this year, but only 63.6% from the line has Carr been so far. Cowan on the right wings, guarded by Miner. She's going to drive by, get to the hoop, and fouled.
That's 3 on Kara Miner. So they're starting to pile up for a lot of the Rams' key contributors, their veteran players. Peyton Grant's going to come in for Miner here. It's a 12-point game, 4:03 to go in the third. You got 2 free throws coming here from Cowan.
It's Hallie Cowan at the line trying to score her first points of the night.
Surprisingly, she's been slowed down, yeah.
And her sister with 13 on the night.
And I don't think Fry even has a basket in the second half. So
I think you're right. First one misses. Second one goes for Cowan.
It's been like Jovic. I almost called her Jokic. And Mankins that have kind of done a lot of damage in this second half.
Right, you're looking for the Heat's Nikola Jovic, not Denver's Nikola Jokic. That miss. Here comes Jovic on the break. Trying to push the pace, kicks it out.
Looking like Jokic with the assist.
Allie Cowan, first made field goal of the night. Maybe she has that dimer badge. There's the first basket of the night for her.
She's been working on her 2K My Player points or whatever it is. I just called it V-Bucks or VC. She bought her VC. There we go.
Leads up to 16 for the Griffins. It's a travel on Bowles. She falls down without contact for a foul. 3:20 to go in the third quarter. Fry tried to push that one up to get a quick basket. Three-pointer eventually missed. Carter's going to bring it up. Minor trying to get this one in. Nice bounce pass to Copeland, and she blows the layup. Fry pushing the pace again and quickly gets to the bucket off the glass. Christiane Fry with her first 2 points of the second half after scoring 15 in the first. Bowles goes at Fry, and she's blocked.
Yeah,
it goes out of bounds and stays with the Rams, though.
Fry, again, like just a really good point guard for this team. And her defense has been good tonight as well. They are going up against the taller Bowles, but she doesn't let it bother her and gets that rejection.
2:37 left in quarter number 3. It's 56-38. Seton Hill over Shepherd. It was only a 7-point game at the half. Shepherd led by 3 after the first quarter. Werner with a step back. It's an air ball.
Let me tell you, that looked good, didn't it?
It was a nice step back.
Just
felt like it was
shot
going to go in.
there. Yeah.
Just maybe a little over rotation with the wrist. Fry trying to get into the teeth of the Shepherd defense, but they play her well, make her bounce the ball out of bounds.
It started with Bowman down low in the post, getting a handle on it, and then Copeland winning the fight for possession there. And that has been the one issue with Fry in this game, is she's had a lot of turnovers. But sometimes turnovers are a result of just having the ball a lot.
Carmea Bowman got the ball in the paint, and she forces her way to the line. Foul on Corinne Eisner. Bowman, 5'10" freshman out of Hampstead, Maryland. First one goes. Has a similar style. Obviously, it would take her a long time and a lot of work to get to this point, but it reminds you, maybe it's just the number 24 and the size, but a little bit of Sydney Clayton type of archetype of player. She goes 2 for 2 from the line.
Well, I think, honestly, and this is just one game watching this group, but I think the freshmen have been pretty impressive. I think Shepherd has something to build on with this. Warner, I think, has some nice stuff to her game. You mentioned Bowman. I think she brings good intensity on the defensive side and effort. I don't know if she'll develop into the scorer that Clayton was, but, who knows over time what she can become and when she gets her confidence going. So there have been some good bright spots in this game in particular that maybe we didn't see toward the beginning of the year, but now these freshmen, as they get more confident, get more minutes, could contribute for this team toward the future.
After a turnover by Seton Hill, there's a reach-in foul by Eisner that's going to send Copeland to the line. Her first free throw just barely rims out.
And one thing that Coach Kaufman can offer that will give her maybe an edge in some recruiting is an opportunity to play a lot of minutes early. Because Shepherd, like I said, especially last year, they were kind of building a roster on the fly, and they still don't really have a core of players that are going to be back next year that are going to give get a lot of minutes. So, that is something that I think Shepherd can use to its advantage when it comes to recruiting kids out of high school.
0 for 2 at the line goes Copeland. Fry puts up a shot, but a rebound and 2 more second chance points.
Yeah, I mean, this is a killer. And Seton Hill's throwing a lot of different players at you on the offensive glass, whether it be Eisner, Mankins, Harrelson in that first half, Jovic.
A nice bucket in the lane by Copeland. On the other side, 3-ball thrown up by Namali is no good. Rolling around on the floor. Eventually the ball stays with Seton Hill, but over the head of Fry, the ball goes and out of bounds. 1:07 left in the third quarter.
And, I mean, this team's showing its talent and its depth, I think, in Seton Hill. Like, the first half superstars haven't really done all that much in the second half. Fry hasn't been, a big scorer in the second half. Harrelson, I don't think, has scored at all. She's checking in here now. She had double digits in the first half. So this is just a team and a program that seems to be a little bit deeper than Shepherd, and that's what's kept them in the game. Because playing 4 quarters, you can run out of gas pretty quick.
Grant drives in on Harrelson and puts it up. 2 points for Peyton Grant, who's had a quiet night. Makes it 58-44. With now 40 seconds left in the third quarter. Fry letting things develop. Falls down, guarded by Copeland. Has to get rid of the ball. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. The horn set. Go in, a spin move, and a nice bucket off the glass by Haleen Cowan. 15 points on the night for her.
Yeah, I mean, she can score. Came in averaging, I believe, 14 points per game. So both Cowans are good, and Grant, good shot there.
There's the first made 3 of the night for Peyton Grant. 2 seconds left on the clock, and Cowan's not going to get that one to go before the buzzer sounds. It's a miss anyway. So we'll go to the fourth quarter. Shepherd to 47. We'll take a 1-minute break and be back with the fourth quarter of Shepherd basketball here on TV10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
This is Eric at Hagerstown Ford. Over the last decade, the way we buy things have evolved. Now, you get on your phone, click Want It, and it shows up at your front door. At Hagerstown Ford, it is that convenient. We've changed the car buying experience on the I-81 corridor forever. And with a return policy better than Walmart, there's absolutely no reason to buy a new or used car, truck, or SUV anywhere else. Just like Amazon, Hagerstown Ford will deliver the vehicle to you, where you are, and on your time. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. Why waste your time at a car dealership playing the dumb back-and-forth games? Besides, we hate it more than you do. I assure you, no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. will beat our price. No dealership from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania to Baltimore, Maryland will beat our price. And no other dealership will allow you to return it if you don't want it. Hagerstown Ford absolutely provides the best experience at the best price. Visit HagerstownFord.com to schedule your VIP experience. Click on the vehicle you want and get your new ride delivered to you at no risk.
See dealer for details.
Start of the fourth quarter here in the Butchers Center. The Lady Rams trail by 13 against the Seton Hill Lady Griffins. Fry dribbling around, gets this one out to Mankins. Back over to Fry, three-pointer. Nothing but air. Peyton Grant gets the rebound and will bring the ball up the court. Now Werner will slow it down. Set up the offense for the Rams. Gives it to Copeland. She'll get a screen from Bowles. Now Bowles has it against Mankins and loses it. Looked like might have dribbled it off the leg of another defender. Seton Hill back with the ball in control of this game. 9 minutes to go.
It just really hasn't been Sydney Bowles' day.
And Fry going to the hoop like she was tripped up by Carmea Bowman.
I think Bowman might have got her like with the knee or the thigh on Fry's attack to the rim, but That is Bowman's third, so I think they'll probably let her play through it, though. Here's just over 9 minutes to go.
And Fry will go to the line. 17 points on the night for Fry. Make it 18, nearing her season average of 22. Puts up the second one, and that one's no good, but the rebound by Harrelson. That second shot doesn't go up either, but Fry draws a foul on the floor, so the ball will stay with the Griffins. Fourth quarter on TV 10, brought to you in part by Ollie's VIP Northside, the best local spot to catch sports or hang out with friends. Stop by 36 Veronica Drive in Martinsburg. Ollie's VIP will see you for the game.
I mean, it feels like to me the second half has kind of come down to, while both teams really haven't seen the same stars from each half score at a high rate, the Seton Hill has found other players to bring that consistency, and Shepherd really hasn't to this point. So
a jumper from inside the free throw line by Cowan missed, but the ball eventually finds the hands of Kalich. She's fouled, and it'll be 2 more free throws for Seton Hill.
Yeah, this has been a tough possession for Shepherd. You're not getting rebounds. There you're getting a little bit out hustled.
That ball goes in for the first free throw. Extends the lead back to 15. And the second one goes as well. Mia Kalich, leading rebounder for the Griffins, over 8 per game. 63-47 with 8.5 minutes left in this game. And almost another turnover. Werner ends up with the ball, though, by the baseline, trapped. And there's the turnover. Gotten by Harrelson. Kalich will bring it up. Cowan will pass to her sister, off the mark. And Mankins ends up with the ball on the ground. Seton Hill keeps possession. Kick it back out. And we'll get a whistle.
Oh, slow to get up. I think she's all right. Just maybe had an issue with her brace.
Howleen Cowan is the one walking gingerly off the court. She'll sit down. Fry will come back on.
Here's the surprising thing, Dylan. What if I told you both teams were tied at 20 turnovers? Would you be surprised about that? It feels like Shepherd's had a little bit more, but
I'm guess not considering too surprised. Seton Hill has had a lot of turnovers themselves, but they've made the most of them, is the thing. And there's another turnover by Seton Hill.
Let's see here. Points off turnovers. Well, Shepherd actually has the edge on that, too, so it's just
offensive boards, points in transition, that's kind of been the difference here. Peyton Grant gets a pass inside. She's fouled.
Our second
Fry.
chance here, 13-0 in favor of Seton
there you
Hill.
go.
So, they've kept Shepherd off the offensive glass. I think that's really where you've seen the biggest difference. Everything else, though, is still, even at this point, still pretty close. There's not a whole lot of separation in a lot of the stats, but the stats don't always tell the story of the game. So,
first one at the line goes for Grant. Well, if it's 13-0 in second chance points,
well,
and it's a 15-point game.
The story of the game, but
right. And make it 14-point lead.
I mean, the rebounding is just overall domination, 42-20. So, especially the offensive rebounds, but just overall, they haven't kept the Seton Hill team off the glass.
Burley and Jovic check back in. It'll be Jovic driving into the lane. Can't get it, but it's Burley who gets the offensive rebound and 2 more second chance points.
Yep. You can just probably say that on most possessions. Not exactly, but it feels that way at times. Just Shepherd just hasn't been able to rebound. Some of it's not boxing out. Some of it's, mainly rebounding is really just an effort thing. Now, sometimes you obviously have, a mismatch where you box out pretty well, but just the player gets around you or maybe just be taller than you or whatever the case may be. But, rebounding and defense, a lot of it is effort. Some of it is skill, obviously, and sometimes better offense beats good defense. And I don't think Shepherd has brought no effort today, but it's been a lot more so a communication thing or not doing the little things like boxing out. Sometimes boxing out isn't always effort. It's just you forget to do it. It's not that you don't want to.
Werner went 1 for 2 from the line to make it 65-50. Jovic from 3 is going to put too much on it, but Burley gets the rebound.
But then in that case, it's like you had 2 players attempting to box out, just didn't do it well enough. So I think you can live with something like that a little bit more because at least you're attempting to get your positioning opposed to we just watched the ball and nobody put a body on anybody. So
it's a reach-in foul on Layla Copeland. 65-50 with 6:55 left to go in this game. Jovic with the inbounds pass to Kalich, and she puts up 2 points. Mia Kalich, freshman, 5'11", of Olmsted Falls, Ohio. Leads the team in rebounds and putting up some points on the board as well here tonight. And that pass from Copeland stolen by Fry. Going out in transition, and a tough layup with the left hand from Christian Fry.
Yeah, that was a very impressive move from Fry. If she gets out and going, she's been pretty much unstoppable.
Bowman off the tip eventually gets the ball in the post.
That might be the first offensive rebound of the day for Shepherd. And it comes from the smallest player on the floor.
And Copeland tried to draw a foul, I think, on Fry, but ended up tossing the ball out of bounds. But it did go off of Seton Hill, off the deflection. So it's 6:04 to go in this one. Shepherd keeps the ball down by 19, 69-50. And a quick inbound by Grant to Copeland. She couldn't quite get the layup to go. It'll be Kalich trying to drive in, kicks this one out to the three-point line for Jovic, who had a foot on the line, so it's a long 2 for Paula Jovic. Griffins extend the lead to 21. Jordan Carr working against Jovic. And the ball on the floor. And they get about 4 players on the floor as well. Eventually the ball stays with Shepherd. Three-pointer thrown up by Peyton Grant and in.
Okay. Didn't expect that to work out for Shepherd based on how that possession started, but how it ended was pretty good.
71-53. There's a steal. Again, Shepherd goes out in transition, up, and a hard foul against Copeland by Burley. So Layla Copeland will go to line for 2 more free throws with 4:58 to go. And that means it's the under 5 timeout. So we'll take the 30-second break with them. Shepherd basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
At the Berkeley County Health Department, our motto is prevent, promote, protect. Since 1935, our mission has been to provide clinical and environmental services to protect the health of the general public. We're committed to building public health in our community by offering a wide range of services, including blood pressure screening, breast and cervical screening, family planning, counseling, lab testing, and more. We perform health inspections to make sure the restaurants you visit are clean, and we prepare and coordinate plans to respond to all hazards. The Berkeley County Health Department, 122 Waverly Court, Martinsburg.
Yeah, never seen that go.
4:58 to go here in this 4th quarter. Brought to you in part on TV 10 by the Larry DeMarco team at Modern Realty Results. If you're looking for a home in the tri-state, they have you covered. 71-53. 4:58 to go. Dylan Bishop, Nick Verzolini here for TV10, WRNR TV on YouTube. And it's just been a tough second half for the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a lot, the offensive rebounds given up on that end of the floor. But I think offensively for Shepherd, too, they just kind of got out of sync. And what they were doing well just went away. Like not a whole lot of great offensive sets or plays or anything like that. And it became more like kind of reminded me of last year at times, which is not a good sign. The team we saw in the first half was getting its looks, was getting into its offense. And part of that may be the Seton Hill defense just stepped it up a little bit and wasn't allowing those looks as much. But the team we saw in the second half was very dysfunctional at times and not really getting into a whole lot of great looks offensively. So I think this game, you can take that first half and try to build on it moving forward. It may end up being one of your best offensive games overall when you look at the final score here. But just too many little mistakes, I think, will hold Shepherd back from making this a more competitive game here down the stretch.
That's what Coach Kaufman has talked about, putting together a full 40 minutes. We've talked about it, too, last year as well. Seemed like this team could put it together for a half or three quarters. Get a step-back three missed by Seton Hill. Stolen by Kara Miner. She'll go out and draw two more free throws, fouled by Jovic. .431 left to go. 71-54. Still most of your starters out on the floor for Shepherd. Miner, Grant, Bowles, Werner, and Carr.
Well, that's the other thing that Coach Kaufman's talked about. This team needs experience. So even in a 71-55 game where normally you would say, okay, let's get some of the players that aren't playing a whole lot for us some minutes. When you lack experience as a team, it doesn't matter if the score is 100-0. You got to be out there. You got to try to build that chemistry, gain that valuable experience, and that's what Shepherd's doing right now, even in the final 4 minutes of a game that isn't quite over in terms of most of the time you would probably still have your starters out here anyway. But
and one for Hallie Cowan.
But maybe you would rotate some younger players in at 73-56. But it doesn't matter what the score is. This team needs to have its rotation out there and try to gain that valuable experience.
And she completes the three-point play. 74-56.
Now these are valuable minutes for the Shepherd team. Here's some offense, so that's a good sign. Do they execute?
Off the glass, Werner can't get it to go. Push the ball up to Namali. He passes off target. Carr gets the steal, tries to make the pass over to Miner, but it's deflected out of bounds.
A lot of these passes on their fast breaks have been too late. That's something I've kind of noticed. They've done a good job of, okay, hey, we got 2-on-1. We're trying to get the defenders step up, stop ball, and then dump it down to our other teammate. But they're coming a little bit too late with those passes, and they haven't really converted on these fast breaks.
Carr works against Cowan, blocked. Hallie Cowan gets the rebound and pushes it up the court. Kick this one out. College for three. Short off the very front of the rim. The Bulls will bring the ball up. Works against College. Turnaround jumper. Gets it to go. Sydney Bowles fairly quiet tonight.
Yeah, she's one of their key players. They need her to be in double digits for them to have a chance to win most nights.
Another offensive rebound for Seton Hill. Jovic works against Carr. Over to Namali. Puts it up, and it's blocked by Bowles.
Seton Hill's gone sloppy the last few minutes. I would not be happy with this stretch if I were their coach. I mean, Shepherd hasn't really taken too much advantage of it, but
Grant working against Namali.
And one.
Puts in the bucket. And the foul. Cuts the lead to 14 with 2:33 to go. Might be too little too late, but you never know.
Better second half for Peyton Grant. She got her shot going a little bit from downtown. There she gets a good drive to the rim. So little flashes here from the Shepherd team here today where I think if they can build on those things, maybe into tomorrow, things go a little bit better for them. I mean, Cal, I think, is usually pretty good. So it's not going to be easy. I mean, no game in the PSAC is going to be easy. It's a tough conference.
74-61 with 2:20 to go. The Molly's blocked, but Seton Hill gets it back right after the rebound. Stolen by College. College will take this one to the rim, left hand, puts it in. Leads back up to 15. Now under 2 minutes to go in the game. Layla Copeland. Namali lost her on the defensive side. Kara Miner will get a steal. Push the ball up to Bowles. Some contact. No foul called. And Cowan got hit in the face, and a big-time deep three-pointer from Peyton Grant cuts the lead to 10 with 1:33 left to go in this one. We'll take the 30-second timeout with them. 76-66 reads our scoreboard with 1:33 left to go. This is Shepherd Basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Finally, West Virginia is moving in the right direction. As your West Virginia Senate President, Craig Blair has passed the most conservative legislative agenda in the nation. He has fought for our values like banning elective abortions, protecting our Second Amendment rights, and prevented boys from playing in girls' sports. Senator Craig Blair championed the largest tax cut in the history of our state. Craig Blair, a strong conservative leader. Promises made, promises kept. This election, vote for Republican Craig Blair for State Senate. Paid for by the committee to re-elect Craig Blair.
Just 93 seconds left for Shepherd to come back from down 10 points against Seton Hill as the Griffins bring some of their starters back in. Christiana Fry being one of them, bringing the ball up the court. Guarded by Copeland. And there's a steal by Werner. Getting out on the break. Tries to make a play, and it's just off the mark. Seton Hill goes back in transition the other way and put up and in by Hallie Cowan. Extends the lead back to 12.
Well, this is the most points Shepherd has scored all season at 66. And one of the better performances they've had over the last 2 years. I mean, the most points they scored last year was 73 in their only win of the season over Mansfield. So to be scoring at this rate at this point in the year, I think is a positive. And I mean, while they're not, lighting it up, the defense has been relatively good. I think, you can win games if you keep them in the 70s for most teams. So
foul called, I believe, against Christian Fry. But to see, it'll be Fry shooting free throws. I guess that means the foul was an offensive one. I don't know where that would have happened as that play unfolded. But it is Fry shooting 2 free throws. First one goes, makes it 79-66 with 1:02 left to go. Second one from Fry off the mark, but tipped out by Harrelson, and Fry gets it back for Seton Hill. That's been the story of the game. Offensive rebounds. The dish to Fry from Cowan. makes it 81 up on the board for Seton Hill.
Yep, and the second chance points, Grant, from way downtown.
Couldn't get that one. And now we're just about at 30 seconds left to go. A steal by Copeland. So Seton Hill's going to move to 3-3 on the season.
I think Shepherd then drops to 1-4, but, I mean, you got to be, again, happy with some of these little things, the little signs of the progression that we talked about. I mean, again, this was a team that went 1-26 last year. And, you know, we don't know what this season has in store for us, but they're already at 1 win this year. And they're showing a little bit more fight, showing a little bit more progression. The final score of this game is not going to look great, but I think you look back at the first half, especially in the early part of the third quarter, and you feel all right about how you played today. I mean, there's a ton of things you can work on, a ton of things to get better with. But the good thing is, too, you can go back tomorrow and play another game, have another opportunity to grow, and maybe have a good weekend in terms of where you're going to be at after these first 2 games. And if you walk away with 2 relatively competitive games against 2 solid programs, you can head into conference play now with more confidence than you probably had heading into the weekend.
Final buzzer sounds. Final score, 83-66. Seton Hill Griffins get the win over the Shepherd Lady Rams. The Seton Hill looks like a team that could make some noise in the PSAC West in this 2023-2024 season. We'll take a 2-minute break, and we'll come back with the Palace Lounge post-game show. This is Shepherd basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Remember when you were a little kid and saw your first deer?
Oh, how cute.
As an adult, maybe you've had a different experience.
Where'd that come from?
Bambi mess up your dream machine? Call Cody's Auto Body today at 304-901-4777 and get the work done right the first time. Cody's Auto Body, 851 Wilston Street in Martinsburg, has a team of auto body professionals with a lifetime of experience putting your ride back together again, regardless of how it got that way. Cody's Auto Body.
This is Eric at Hagerstown Ford. Over the last decade, the way we buy things have evolved. Now, you get on your phone, click Want It, and it shows up at your front door. At Hagerstown Ford, it is that convenient. We've changed the car buying experience on the I-81 corridor forever. And with a return policy better than Walmart, there's absolutely no reason to buy a new or used car, truck, or SUV anywhere else. Just like Amazon, Hagerstown Ford will deliver the vehicle to you, where you are, and on your time. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. Why waste your time at a car dealership playing the dumb back-and-forth games? Besides, we hate it more than you do. I assure you, no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. will beat our price. No dealership from Chambersburg, Pennsylvania to Baltimore, Maryland will beat our price. And no other dealership will allow you to return it if you don't want it. Hagerstown Ford absolutely provides the best experience at the best price. Visit HagerstownFord.com to schedule your VIP experience. Click on the vehicle you want and get your new ride delivered to you at no risk.
See dealer for details.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg is the place to be. Join us every night to relax and enjoy football or basketball games featuring either the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Shepherd University Rams, or West Virginia Mountaineers. We will have steak night every Wednesday, trip nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. You can find us on Facebook or call 304-267-7520. The Palace Lounge is located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg.
Welcome into the Palace Lounge post-game show here on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube as Seton Hill gets an 83-66 win in PSAC women's basketball over the Shepherd Lady Rams. Post-game show brought to you by the Palace Lounge on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg with a full lunch and dinner menu with daily specials and a clean, comfortable atmosphere. Check out the menu on the Palace Lounge Facebook page. Dylan Bishop and Nick Verzolini here with the post-game show after Shepherd is downed by the Seton Hill Griffins. Nick, we can get into, first of all, our game stats brought to you by Bechtel Jewelers, West Virginia's largest Pandora realtor on Route 11 South Inwood, taking care of you like nobody's business. Get there before they run out of their inventory as they have their going out of business sale as they go into retirement.
Yeah, we'll start with Seton Hill. 9 of 20 for Fry, 4-6 from the line, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 8 turnovers, but she had 6 steals, so kind of evened it out a little bit. 23 points for her offensively. Callan 15, the other Callan 9, 10 from Harrelson, all of them in the first half. Mankins with 4, 8 for Kalich, 10 for Jovic, and 2 from Burley on the Seton Hill side. For Shepherd, Peyton Grant actually ends up with a pretty good game, 6 of 9, shooting 3 of 6 from downtown. A lot of that damage coming for her in the second half, as she actually ends up with 18 points to lead Shepherd. Kind of a quiet 18, but she put it together in that second half. Warner 11, she had 10 in the first half. Copeland 13, Minor 6, Bowles 6, Carr 8, and Bowman 4. Those are the Rams leaders. I mean, we talked about some of those team stats where the difference was made, but Seton Hill shot 44% from the floor, Shepherd 39%. Both teams only make 4 threes in the ball game, as they were not really falling today. 79% from the line for Seton Hill, just 64% for Shepherd. The rebounding category, though, is where things really got out of hand for the Rams and what separated Seton Hill here today. 56 rebounds for Seton Hill, just 24 for Shepherd. And offensive rebounds is the big category that we talked about throughout the game. 18 offensive rebounds, just 2 for the Rams. And then that led to quite a few second chance points for this team as well. So that kind of was the separation. Everything else is relatively even. You have 19 second chance points for Seton Hill compared to 0 for Shepherd.
Now let's get into our Cody's Auto Body rejection of the game. Cody's Auto Body at 851 Wilson Street in Martinsburg. Family owned, offering superior customer service and great pricing for a job done by experienced certified technicians. You can call them at 304-901-4777 or visit their Facebook page. Nick, the rejection of the game.
It's going to go to Abby Mankins. About 7 minutes to go in that third quarter, Copeland had what we thought was a mismatch in terms of her speed against Mankins, the 5'10 forward, but the height and the athleticism of Mankins ended up holding off the speed of Copeland, and she got that rejection of the game for me.
And then we'll get to our moment of the game, brought to you by WVU Medicine, Berkeley Medical Center, and Jefferson Medical Center, leading healthcare here and everywhere.
Well, there was a point in this third quarter where it looked like maybe Shepherd was going to take control or at least get right back into the game. I think they made it a 2-point game. And then all of a sudden Seton Hill came out, started playing their top basketball again, and pulled away, got out to a 10-point lead or so, and never really looked back from that point forward. The game never really got close again, and Seton Hill, the Griffins, just pulled away and ended up with a really good final score and a good win today over Shepherd. So I felt like that moment in the game kind of changed where things looked like it was going Shepherd's way. Looked like Shepherd was going to make it close throughout, and then Seton Hill kind of slammed the door with a big run and closed things out well.
And finally, our Kelly Allstate Insurance Player of the Game, brought to you by Kelly Allstate Insurance. For all your insurance needs, call Gary Kelly at 304-263-4596 or stop by 724 Lakeview Drive in Martinsburg.
I'm going to go Fry, 9 of 20, pretty good shooting day. She was only 1 of 6 from downtown, but she had a double-double as the point guard. Again, I said it earlier, the turnover's a little high, but when you have the ball as much as she has it, sometimes you get a lot of turnovers, and she got 6 steals as well, 23 points, and it just felt like when she was rolling, when she was clicking, Seton Hill was just on another level. But honestly, you could shout out some of their role players, some of their bench as well as being one of the big reasons why they ended up pulling away in that third quarter. But I just felt like for the complete game and what you saw from Fry, I liked her performance here today.
And there we go again as the 83-66 win. So, It looks like, Nick, it was a tentative 5 o'clock start for the Shepherd men's game, but it looks like we've had a 30-minute pushback for the start of the men's game. Scoreboard here on the clock at about just under 37 minutes, so it'll be 5:30 start for the men's game as we await our officials to be able to make sure that they are able to get here on time, because obviously can't play the game if there's no refs. So I think with that we will send it back to Colin McLaughlin for post-game scoreboard show. He can get you up to date with all the final scores from all the other PSAC women's games that just came by and finished at the same time as you open up PSAC play today. He'll send it to a break, and perhaps he'll play some programming. I think we can perhaps play our interview with Justin Namalik before we come back here at perhaps around 5:15 for our men's game pregame show for the 5:30 tip.
Dylan, that sounds like an excellent idea.
I'm glad you think so, Nick. So for that, Dylan Bishop and Nick Verzolini here on the call with you. Josh Reston, our cameraman, and Colin McLaughlin, who you'll hear from after this break with the post-game scoreboard show. 83-66 is the final score in the women's game. And we'll be back after this break with the post-game scoreboard show. And at 5:30, the 5:15 pregame, we'll have the men's game. Nick and I will switch spots, and we'll get ready for Griffins and Rams basketball once again. This is Shepherd Rams basketball on TV10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Mayhem is everywhere.
I'm your new bangs, and you can't stop staring at me. That's it. Just tilt the rearview mirror over here. And while you're checking me out more times than a library book, your car is wandering into that lane over there. More bangs? Neat. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate.
Call Martinsburg Allstate agent Gary Kelly today at 304-263-4596.
WV Medicine is pleased to introduce 8 new providers who've joined University Health Associates East and our medical staffs at Berkeley Medical Center and Jefferson Medical Center. Dr. Hafiz Subair and Dr. Casey Martin, Pulmonary and Critical Care. Dr. Kyrie Horsley and Dr. Alan Tenzar, Podiatry. Dr. Layla Elder, Family Medicine. Dr. Jack Gelman, Plastic Surgery. Dr. Brianna Barr, Hospitalist. And Dr. Jonathan Moss, Family Medicine and Transitional Care. Welcome to WVU Medicine.
Finally, West Virginia is moving in the right direction. As your West Virginia Senate President, Craig Blair has passed the most conservative legislative agenda in the nation. He has fought for our values like banning elective abortions, protecting our Second Amendment rights, and prevented boys from playing in girls' sports. Senator Craig Blair championed the largest tax cut in the history of our state. Craig Blair, a strong conservative leader. Promises made, promises kept. This election, vote for Republican Craig Blair for State Senate. Paid for by the committee to re-elect Craig Blair.
One of the questions lawyers get asked the most is, what is my case worth?
I'm Steven Skinner, and this is my brother Andrew with Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers.
The truth is, it's very difficult for a lawyer to pinpoint a number because every case is different.
We get to know each situation and we'll give you an idea of what your case is worth and why.
The sooner we get involved, the better we can do getting you the compensation you deserve.
Google Skinner Lawyers or go to skinnerwins.com. We'll treat you like family.
Welcome into the And One post-game scoreboard show here on TV10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. As I had to flip my camera around, it was facing the wrong way. We take a look around the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference as the Shepherd women's team unfortunately falls at home to Seton Hill by a final score of 83-66. Let's now take a look here at some other scores from around the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference in women's basketball. Final score between Lock Haven and Pitt Johnstown. That one goes down to the final moments. Lock Haven gets the win 59-57. Final score, Gannon continues its domination early. 7-1 now on the year with a 75-31 win over Bloomsburg. Also a final score was Mansfield defeating Clarion 82-71. in overtime. The game that you can see on the bottom of the screen, that one between California, PA, and Millersville. A little bit of an update here. I'll try to get it on the screen too so that you can see it in overtime with under 2 minutes to go. It is now Cal U leading by a score of 71-66. So the Vulcans trying to extend that lead in overtime after coming back in the fourth quarter to force the overtime over Millersville. Final score now as we switch over to some other scores within the conference. 63-56, Mercyhurst beat East Stroudsburg. Also 83-51, it was Westchester getting a win against Slippery Rock. And this one with 30 seconds left in quarter number 4 between Kutztown and Edinboro. It's Edinboro now leading 62-56 after dominating here in the fourth quarter, 20-8. Edinboro, the Fighting Scots, fighting back against the Golden Bears in that fourth quarter to take right now a 6-point lead. Final score, IUP gets a 65-50 win over Shippensburg, and that is your scores around the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. We'll step aside here. I got to switch over to the men's basketball stream, so for those watching on YouTube as well as on the PSAC Digital Network right now, we'll switch over to 2 separate streams for the men's basketball game on TV 10. Just hang in there while I do so, then we'll be back. We'll hear from the men's basketball coach, Justin Namlick, and get you set for the men's game between Seton Hill and Shepherd. This has been Shepherd University Rams basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. This concludes today's coverage of NCAA Division II basketball featuring the Shepherd University Rams in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Our coverage was brought to us thanks to
Parsons Ford of Martinsburg, Rocks, the Dutch Miller Auto Group, the Mirius Group of Financial Advisors, the Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers, Brown's Funeral Homes and Cremations, CMA Honda, Craig Blair for State Senate, Orsini's Home Store, the Mansion Ferretti Law Firm, the Berkeley County Health Department, Hagerstown Ford, Smallwood and Small Insurance, Modern Realty Results, Ollie's, The Palace Lounge, Bechtel Jewelers, Cody's Auto Body, WVU Medicine, Gary Kelly Allstate Insurance, and the Mountaineer Grill and Pub.
This has been a WRNR and TV 10 broadcast. All rights reserved.